The presidential election was rocked Friday by news that FBI Director James Comey had sent a letter to congressional leaders announcing that he was reopening the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server while Secretary of State, following the discovery of new emails. Now, the decision comes amid a federal probe into Anthony Weiner, who is under investigation for allegedly sexting with a 15-year-old girl. The disgraced congressman is also the estranged husband of longtime Clinton aide Huma Abedin. Now, the emails in question were found on a laptop shared between Weiner and Abedin, though Comey said they do not know yet that the significance of the documents. Now, with me now on set is Paul Viollis, and he is the CEO of Viollis Group, a security consulting firm. Thanks a lot for joining us, man. Always good to talk to you.
Always
but
good.
I got to tell you this has to be unprecedented.
No question.
To say the least.
No question. Yeah. This is a bomb pass. There's no doubt about that. And what we're going to see is what we're seeing now is going to pale in comparison to what we're going to see over the next 10 days, and even probably over the next 2 months, because this is not going to go away quickly, DeMarco.
So why now? And we have an election coming up.
Right, exactly. So there's so many moving parts to that. So look at just the totality of the scope of what actually had to happen before Comey, the director of the FBI, comes forward with this. You know, the investigative process is such that you've got a collateral and a completely separate investigation where now information is presented to probably an analyst who sends it to an agent that says, wait a second, I've seen information here on this device when we're investigating this case that could very well point to Hillary Clinton. Okay, so they take that and they kick it up the line to agent, supervisory agent, ASAC, SAC, direct. All these people had to sign off on this and look at that content and say, this isn't good. We got to pass this up. So all of these people, you're probably talking about a good 7, 8, 9, 10 people before it got to the director.
Had to go up the chain.
Had to go up the chain.
So tell me this. I'm also hearing that it's also a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation for Comey, because had he not come out now, he would be criticized after the election.
Right.
If he waited to come out with the information that he had new emails.
He couldn't wait. I mean, when you really think about the totality of the incident right here, DeMarco, there's no way that he could wait. He testified in front of Congress. We all know how much scrutiny that he was under at that point. He finishes testifying in Congress and he says what? The investigation is closed. Now he knows, and this is why I say this has got to be about content. He's looking at this message and he's saying, now I've got to reopen this investigation, which speaks volumes about what that content he's got that he's seen.
Now, Comey has defended his decision to disclose the information in a letter that was sent to FBI staffers. I want to just let you know, noted again, that they do not know the significance of the emails and that he did not want to create a misleading impression.
Right.
Too late for that.
Well, there's no question, but we've got to remember the term significance. So when we talk significance, there's clearly content that can point to criminal charges or else he wouldn't have done this. But the significance portion of that, for our viewers to understand, is that the investigative process is going to call to validate the integrity of those messages. So if there are, let's say, they said tens of thousands. Let's just say there's 10,000 for argument's sake. Now, in order for them to say that it's significant, they have to validate point-to-point significance of user, sender to receiver. If it's got Hillary Clinton's name on it, did she really send it? I mean, think about all our viewers that are out there right now that have received emails from people that have names they knew, but it didn't come from that actual person.
Well, what happens if it turns out to be absolutely nothing big?
He still had
not enough information to bring criminal charges against Clinton,
right,
who clearly, in many of the polls that we've shown, has a problem with voters when it comes to being trusted and being viewed as dishonest. What happens if these emails turn out to be absolutely nothing and there are no criminal charges?
You know, at the end of the day,
it has an impact on the election.
What can't hold back? I mean, again, it's damned if you, damned if you don't. But if he didn't disclose information that he had, which again comes down to the fact that what he saw, DeMarco, what's in these messages, that content has to be so compelling to make him do this. Because let's face it, if he's diving into the deep end of the pool, you don't get this thing right, this could be professional suicide.
Now, sources tell CBS News that Comey actually went against the advice of Attorney General Loretta Lynch, his boss, to follow a long-standing practice of not commenting on current investigations.
Right.
Is he going rogue?
No. He's doing exactly what he really needs to do based on the fact that he testified in front of Congress that the investigation was closed. And because he's reopening the investigation, he needed to tell people he was reopening the investigation. God forbid.
That's a little blindsided, though, for your boss,
but you did
not to know.
Now, the fact he didn't go to her, I don't think that was a smart move. He needed to go to her. He doesn't need her permission. But he should have gone to her out of respect and said, listen, we have this information. This is what it says. We're going to have to reopen it to validate it. I think that would have been a smart play. But did he have to do it? He didn't. Did he go rogue? No. And the reason why he didn't, let me explain that.
Yeah, because I'm listening very closely.
Because you're talking about a brilliant attorney. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all the things that Director Comey has done, but you're talking about a brilliant attorney, a deductive reasoner, right? Somebody that really is very methodical in everything they do, DeMarco, everything. He thought this out. He thought about what the consequences were. It wasn't like he acted under pressure. It wasn't like because, well, he went one way before and so many people criticized him.
So you don't think he was being pressured by the Republican Party to do something?
I'm sure that I know I can't say I know for a fact, but I would say that it's a very safe bet.
They were very critical of him.
A lot of people
months ago when he said
I was critical of him. He should have gone forward. He didn't do, in my opinion, what he should have done as director of the FBI back then in July. But be that as it may, I really don't believe that was the impetus behind him doing this. I don't think the pressure got to him. I don't think that he went off the reservation, so to speak. I think he looked at information, the content of which was so concerning. He realizes he still has to validate the integrity of the message, which is why he said it's not significant. We can't say how significant it is yet. But he realized he testified in front of Congress, and he better say something if he opens his mouth.
All right, so it's clear. Former Congressman Anthony Weiner is under investigation.
As he should.
Can you use that evidence in a separate investigation here?
You can. And the reason why you can is because they had a lawful search warrant to seize devices. And they seized one of the things they obviously seized was a computer. And in looking at that computer, if looking at that evidence lawfully, which they did, uncovered other potential criminal evidence towards other cases, they can certainly use that to either reopen a case or open a new case.
So what are the steps that they're going to have to go through?
Right now?
File criminal charges,
okay,
yes.
Right, so perfect.
Or to find wrongdoing.
Right, so right now they're going to take a look at the emails. And then they have to validate, as I said, the integrity point to point to make sure that they actually came from Hillary Clinton's email server, which they'll be able to do. But there's not an automated process where you just put 10,000 emails into a system and it kind of kicks it out. You have to look at that email, you have to go back to the original email. And then from that original email, you have to trace the IP address to the point of origin. And if you can trace that point of origin and validate that it came from her, now that one document, that one piece of paper, that one email is now significant.
We've been talking about this for a long time now.
We have.
Every time an email is leaked or some information is put out there, we still don't find anything strong enough to bring criminal charges. Mm-hmm. If she's elected, could she be charged?
Yes.
Criminally?
No question.
How so?
Because if this evidence points to the fact that she violated federal law with respect to and in this particular case, the not securing classified documents or disclosing classified documents. I mean, there were cases out there where you see people getting convicted of 1 year, 2 years in prison just for that. So is it possible that that could happen? It is possible. I think it's a stretch, but I definitely think there's no question it's possible.
So no sense to make that Comey may have been pressured to do this?
No.
At this time?
I don't think so.
This time in the game?
I don't think so, because 11 days beforehand, for him to pull that trigger, he had to weigh on this real heavily. He had to realize this is a game changer. You could change the course of American history with that one decision.
All right, final question for you. Both sides, the Republican side and also the Democrats, are saying, hey, just put everything out on the table.
Right.
Tell us what you know. Will he do it?
Yes, well, eventually.
And should he do it?
He should do it. But he's not going to do anything yet because this investigation is going to take time. I know that there are guys on both sides of the aisle right now that are saying, well, look, show me what you got. Mrs. Clinton said before, show me what you got. And if I was her, I'd want to know what you have. He's going to take his time. The FBI is, known for being extremely thorough, and they are going to take their time. They're going to make sure before they come back out that every T is crossed, every I is dotted.
All right, we got to go, but you got to agree, the timing is very suspicious.
It's highly suspect. There's no question about that.
All right, thank you. Always good to talk to you.
Great to see you.
All right.